What's up guys, it's Zerker, and today I'm going to be teaching you how to do some warrior PvP with arms. I'm going to be doing PvP setups, glyphs, videos, macros, and everything like that for every single spec of a warrior, but starting off I'm going to go with the most powerful spec in PvP, which is arms. Arms is a whole bunch of burst damage, and it can get some awesome dots. It's got amazing cooldowns, and it's what pretty much all the high ranked warriors use. Alright, so basically we're going to start off with talents. These are kind of my own specific talents. You can, customize it however you want, but this is a base you should go off of pretty much. So in arms here, we got 3 in a war academy, basically increasing damage, 2 in field dressing, increasing self-healing, which is very important, 2 in second wind, which basically makes you generate 20 rage and 6% of your health whenever you're struck by a demobilizing effect. 3 in deep wounds, basically it causes the critical strikes to make them bleed at 48% of that average melee damage over 6 seconds, which is a very good dot. We have taste of blood, which is one of the most important ones here. It basically allows you, whenever you get a crits with your basically like rend ability, you can use overpower, which is one of the main DPS things you use. So that is extremely important. Here's sweeping strikes. I use it every now and then. I'm actually thinking of specking out of it. If you want to spec out of it, if you don't use sweeping strikes, basically all it does is hit 2 targets for 10 seconds. If you don't want to use sweeping strikes, I'd put it in blitz, which is very nice. It generates 5 additional rage and stuns additional targets with your charge. It's good. Another one, impale, basically increasing the damage of your mortal strike, slam, and overpower by 20%. An additional really high hitting spell. Improved hamstring is extremely necessary. If you hamstring twice, you would demobilize the targets for 5 seconds, which is very nice. It can occur every 30 seconds. It's very good for arena and BGs when you're trying to slow a flag carrier or whoever. Deadly combat, another very important cooldown, basically for the next 10 seconds. None of your abilities cast rage, and it's very, very good. It cannot be used during Enraged because Swifty's macro has made this become nerfed, so thank you, Swifty. Alright, on to Blood Frenzy. Now basically this makes your targets bleed for an additional 4% physical damage. It's decent. Now I've seen people spec into improved slam. I have for the longest time, and I'm like, oh, slam is really good. I mean, it hits really high. But I was seeing that by the time you get through a slam and an overpower, you're going to be able to heroic strike and mortal strike again, and because those have cooldowns. So basically I figured that you don't need the slam anymore. You can just continue overpowering and mortal striking, heroic striking, keeping your dots up and everything like that. So I got rid of that because slam is not one of the main abilities I use anymore. So now on to Lambs of Slaughter. Basically causes you to refresh your rend on the target, which is very good, stacking up to 3 times. Juggernaut, basically now you can charge in combat, which is very nice in all stances. It's reduced by 2 seconds, and following the charge you're taking additional 25% damage critically hit on your mortal strike or slam ability. Very good. Sudden death, your melee hits have a 6% chance of resetting the cooldown. Your Colossus Smash, I get this proc a lot. It's very useful. Your Colossus Smash normally has a 20-second cooldown. Now you can use it probably every like 6 or 8 seconds, depending on how many hits you're doing. Very, very nice. Wrecking Crew, basically your mortal strike has a 100% chance. 100% chance. Very, very good. To enrage you, basically increasing your physical damage by 10%. That's a lot. So you want to make sure you guys continually mortal striking. That's very good, guys. Another extremely important ability, Throwdown, basically knocks down the target, stunning them for 5 seconds. Extremely important for arenas and BGs. And finally, the most important thing about arms, in my opinion, is Bladestorm. Bladestorm does so much damage, 150% weapon damage for 6 seconds every second. Very nice. And you're immune to all like stunning effects, so if there's a huge mob of guys, go at them. It's very nice for doing a large amount of damage. After that, you have 31 points in arms. I put 3 in Blood Frenzy. Basically, you get more health. Cruelty increases the damage of your mortal strike. Good. Rude Interruption basically increases your damage after you interrupt. If you gotta get used to interrupting, that's a really big part of warriors. And then Piercing Howl, basically it slows all the targets in the area for by 50% for 6 seconds. It's good to get people to slow, around you and stuff like that. Insight, which is another very, very, very important. It basically increases the damage of heroic strike and gives your next heroic strike a 100% chance to crit. Very good. So once you guys get those all down, we're on to glyphs. First glyph of Prime Glyph, Glyph of Mortal Strike, basically increasing the damage. Glyph of Overpower, increasing the damage by 10% as well. And Glyph of Bladestorm, decreasing the cooldown by 15 seconds. So now it's down from a 1 minute and 30 second cooldown to a 1 minute 15 second cooldown. An additional 15 seconds of time that you could be using to rate people. Now on to Colossus Smash. I've seen this being replaced a lot with people's personal preferences. They like to use the Piercing Howl, which basically increases the radius from 10 yards to 15 yards. Personally, I don't use Piercing Howl as much as I use Hemorrhage, so I like the additional sudden armor effects with the Colossus Smash, allowing me to hit higher on targets. Another necessary glyph is the Glyph of Long Charge, increasing your your charge range by additional 5 yards. Now it's up to, let's see, 8 to 30 yard charge, which is very nice. And then finally, I use Glyph of Victory Rush, increasing my healing of Victory Rush. Basically, if you're going to be BGing or arenaing and you're going to be like the main DPS, this is very good for you, because instead of healing maybe like a 25k with Victory Rush, you can go up to maybe like crits of 75k heals with Victory Rush, which is very nice for self-healing. I've been down 50% and self-healed all the way up to 100% health. It's extremely good. On top of that, if you're annoyed with Victory Rush ending so fast and not being able to use it, I have Glyph of Enduring Victory, which is minor, so it's not really that important, but it increases your Victory Rush duration by 5% or 5 seconds, which is very nice for, you know, holding on to that longer than instead of wasting it. On top of that, Berserker Rage basically generates 5 rage now, and Glyph of Battle, increasing your cooldown, or increasing the duration of your battle battle shout by 2 minutes, increasing from 2 to 4 minutes, which is very good. And in the area of effects, so basically you can buff more people. So now on to the most important part, rotation. I'm just gonna give you guys a quick look at my gear. I just got 85 2 days ago, so don't judge my gear. If you just hit 85, I would recommend buying full Vicious. It is Vicious Pyrium gear. Increases your Brazil and your strength and stamina, obviously, and also adds expertise, which is pretty good. You can buy every single piece except for Trinks, and it's good. So, also, I basically, for PvP, legit PvP gear, I have Cata Shoulders, Ruthless Gloves, and the most important part is the Ruthless Weapon. You need to get Ruthless Weapons. I mean, that's the first thing you need to buy, and then put Landslide on it. If you hate being disarmed, put on Pyrium Weapon Chain. It seems like I don't get disarmed that much, so I'd rather have the additional 1000 attack power, so it's very good. Just get a gun or a thrown weapon. I recommend thrown weapon. I just got this from a PvE dungeon, so I just use that for now until I have enough to buy it. Obviously, rings. I would, Trink-wise, if you're not a human, I'd recommend buying the, obviously, debuff of the movement and pairing effects, the Badge of Conquest. Or if you don't have that, I would recommend getting the, if you are a human, though, which most warriors are, I would recommend getting the proc Trink, which is the one that every now and then increases your strength. And then I would also recommend the one that you can use, which is good for arenas, piling people down. Very, very nice. So, besides that, hit cap is around 5%. You don't really have to worry about that. I got 6.8 with just default gear, so it's not that big of a deal. Gemming wise, you're going to want to gem either pure strength or pure crit chance and strength. There's combination gems such as orange and purple, which will help you with that. So rotation wise, just take a look at my action bars real fast down here. I have Slam as 1, which I don't use that much, but I have it as 1. Seeing that I have a Razor Nog, I can quickly press 1 through 8 extremely easily. 2 is Overpower. Overpower is going to use a lot. Colossus Smash is 3. Colossus Smash is going to be used a lot. Heroic Strike is 4 every now and then if I don't want to wait for the rotation, I have that. Throwdown as 5. Mortal Strike is 6. Bladestorm is 7. Heroic Throw is 8. Cleave is 9. One Shot Macro as 10. And then scroll up and scroll down, I have my rotation macro, which I will go over in a few seconds. Victory Rush is F, Heroic Leap is V, Pummel is R, Battle Shout as C, Berserker Rage as T, Execute as Y, and Every Man for Himself, which is the racial or trinket ability that you have, as X. Sweeping Strikes, my healing macro, Inner Rage, Recklessness, and Deadly Calm are all off, which I will click them. Basically, I don't use them that much, so you can just quickly click them when necessary. Demoralizing Shout don't use. Intimidating Shout, which is the fear, off cooldown, basically up here. And now for Shift 1, I have Charge. Shift 2, I have Hamstring. Shift 3, I have Rend. Shift 4 I have my Rended Hamstring Macro. In Shift 5 I have Piercing Hell. G I have my Flying Mount. Shift G I have my Ground Mount, and then Smelting In will group have Travel, basic stuff. So now into macros. There's some very important macros. Seeing that Swifty's one-shot macro does not work anymore, there's some different macros that I actually have to help you guys out. Now, so let's start off. Just quick macro. I have my battle shout just yells Foos. When you use it, beware. You can get reported for spamming. Just saying. Now I have my healing macro. Very good macro I've actually developed. So basically what it does is it pops your Berserker Rage, then pops your Enraged Regeneration, healing you by, 12% of your maximum health, and then pops Rallying Cry, which will increase your maximum health. So basically, it heals you more because you have a higher maximum health for a certain amount of time, and that'll heal you up. I've healed up the, 40k or 50k-ish with that, which is very good. One-shot macro basically just pops Inner Rage and then Recklessness, because you can't use Deadly Calm with that. It's good just to down some people really fast. I honestly don't use it that much. If you have a DPS trinket, you can also put that in there just to quickly use it. Also, I have my Bladestorm macro, which pops Bladestorm and then Recklessness then Bladestorm, which it will crit a really high amount of chance. Really high, I mean. Like I'll show you guys. The other important macro I have is my scroll on my mouse, so basically I can spam it, and I have that as basically just as all it does is Heroic Strike and then Mortal Strike, and then it just repeats over and over again. And it's really good just to, quickly burst people if you have a lot of rage, and it's like one of your main things to do on top of Overpower, which is the number 2 key. And then after that, I have my Hamstring Rend macro, basically show a tooltip, cast sequence, reset equals hamstring, rend, hamstring. It hamstrings them to slow them, puts on rend, which is the dot, and then roots them using the second hamstring, as I earlier discussed with the improved hamstring ability. All these macros, of course, will be in the description, so you guys can easily copy and paste. So just did a quick overview so you guys actually know what I'm doing. So, rotation-wise, you're always going to want to start in with the charge. Charge is very important to you. It generates a high amount of rage. After charge, you're going to want to quickly do a battle shout if that is off cooldown, generate another high amount of rage. After that, you're going to want to get your rend on, which is your obviously shift 3 key if you're set up how I have, and then get your hamstring on. If it's an important target that you can't down without them running away, you're going to want to root them with a second hamstring. For this purpose, I will not be rooting them. After that, you're going to want to throw them down using throwdown ability and pop on them with a Colossus Smash. By then, you'll have a really high amount of rage. That's when you're going to want to scroll, doing your Heroic and Mortal Strike at the same time. And then on top of that, using your Overpower whenever it procs. Repeat the Mortal Strike Heroic Strike scroll with the Overpower and reapply your dots and hamstring whenever needed. Also, Battle Shout is very important. And if you need more rage, you can always Heroic Leap away and then charge back. It's very good. If you can do it fast, it works in your favor, stunning them for additional seconds. So let's hop in and see what we can do here. So that's pretty much it, guys. Some really burst high damage. Really popping cooldowns is to your discretion. So healing macro here, we're just gonna take a look at it, what it does. Just watch the heals. 6k, 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 and another 6k on top of another 6k, and a final 8th, 9th, 10 6ks. So what is that? 60k health. Very good. Also, Victory Rush hits a high amount as well. All the numbers you saw me hitting are just based on, discretion and gear wise. I have really horrible gear, so make sure to just keep that in mind. Average people will be hitting around 40Ks. Factor that into the Resil and armor kind of setup with normal people. You're going to be hitting around 30Ks on people, which is very good. Recklessness. If you don't want to use Recklessness with Bladestorm, that's extremely good as well. I mean, you could hit up upwards of like maybe 80Ks on people. It's also good to grab Berserker and BGs, do extra damage, you know. So that's pretty much it. Make sure you guys just use your trinket and your Berserker Rage to get out of fears and everything else like that. And retaliation is good as well. So thank you guys for watching. Make sure you leave a comment and rating and everything. I will be going over a Fury Warrior PvP video next, once I get better gear and everything like that. Check out my channel for arenas and BGs. So thank you guys for watching. Peace out. Have a nice day, I guess. And make sure you subscribe to youtube.com/berserkerwow.